Senator Jeff Flake is from Arizona, and I'd like to congratulate him because today he's officially the least popular senator in America. Now, how did he get there? Well, you know, he wasn't very popular to begin with, but second of all, he wound up double-crossing his constituents on the issue of background checks. Now, remember, he's from Arizona, so was Gabby Giffords, who was shot in the head by a gun and advocated for universal background checks. Well, she wasn't the only one. In fact, Jeff Flake said that he was going in that direction. He wrote a handwritten letter to a constituent who had had a family member shot in the Colorado tragedy, okay? And he said, quote, "I am truly sorry for your deep loss. While we may not agree on every solution, strengthening background checks is something we agree on." He even wrote at the very end there of the letter, "Your family will be in my thoughts and prayers," but apparently not in his votes. So you got the thoughts and the prayers, but you didn't get his vote. He voted against background checks, even though he wrote that handwritten letter saying that he was gonna vote for background checks. Well, turns out that didn't sit well with the good folks in Arizona. New poll just out. Wa Sikterlan, 32% approval, 51% disapproval. That would be a bit of a devastating number. Oh, he's hurt, dog. Don't ask him if he's all right. In fact, we did ask him, and his answer was kind of funny. I'll get to that in a second. Now, specifically, 52% said that his opposition to the gun legislation made them less likely to vote for him in the future. So it's not just theoretical in terms of this doing damage to his brand and to his approval ratings. It's what the people said in a poll. No, it was this. I didn't like what he did here, and hence I like him less now. 32 to 51, that's terrible, terrible. But just don't trust me on it. Trust Jeff Flake himself. Well, apparently you can't trust Jeff Flake on anything. But he says about the poll, which was done by Public Policy Polling, quote, "Now, notwithstanding the polling firm's leftist bent, I would assume that my poll numbers have indeed taken a southerly turn since my vote against the mentioned Toomey background check proposal. It was a popular amendment, and I voted against it." He didn't add, but perhaps should have. Oops. So public policy polling does tend to have a more liberal slant, but of course reality has a well-known liberal bias. That's why public policy polling came in #1 in most accurate of all the polls in the 2012 election. So even Republican Jeff Flake realizes, who am I kidding? They're totally right. He goes on to say, quote, "Nothing like waking up to a poll saying you're the nation's least popular senator." It's like the smell of poll napalm in the morning. So finally, he adds this one last quote here, which endears me a little bit to him, as I will definitely vote to make sure he never returns to the Senate. Quote, "Given the public's dim view of Congress in general, that probably puts me somewhere just below pond scum." Well, at least he's keeping it real. Okay, but what's reality is that this might be his first and last term as a senator from Arizona. Now, look, the election is a long, long time away, so he thinks he's got 6 years to make up for it. He's just recently elected, but it's not a good way to start your term there. And I love that this vote is having severe consequences for senators all across the country, Republicans and Democrats, that voted against background checks. What now?